Hey, Star Wars fans, welcome to the Credible Nerds podcast. My name is Justin, and I will be your host for this video podcast here. And I have my fellow Mandalorians with me. I have Mark,
Hey guys, how's it going?
and we have Aiden joining us once again.
I'm back.
Yeah. So we have our crew together to talk about, for this episode, we'll be talking about Star Wars Celebration Anaheim 2022. We did do the path to celebration. We were going to do a review show for every day, kind of what we're anticipating and looking forward to. We got through 2 episodes and then kind of dropped off, kind of got a little, I don't know if boring is the right word, but we were ready to go. We didn't want to sit and talk about what we're going to see. We wanted to be there and see it. So we stopped doing it. We went to Celebration last week, all 4 days. We stayed at the Hilton there. It was right next door to the convention center, so we were able to go in and out very well, very easily. That was super nice. For us, this is the second celebration that the three of us went to. We went to Celebration Chicago 2019 and had a blast. So we packed it up again and went to this one last week. So we'll get started talking about the things that we saw, the things we liked, and what we enjoyed, and perhaps what could be done better next time if we go next time. And so just some of the highlights. For you, Mark, as far as like the overall experience, what would you say, how did it go? How did it compare to Chicago? And kind of what are your general thoughts about that?
I definitely liked it. I have to give it, compared to Chicago, if Chicago's an A, which for me it was my first one, this one's a B, but I only have 2 to compare it to, right? And so I think Chicago was really fun for me. It was my first time, a lot of, cool things, kind of, like wide-eyed from everything.
Yeah.
So that was really neat. But this one was, you kind of knew what to expect. And then some of the things that I saw, I felt like I was missing. One of the things I really missed was Warwick Davis. I thought he was a great MC.
Yeah.
Right. He's super personable, great guy. I mean, he's super knowledgeable, obviously, in this, Star Wars universe. And he just got this huge charismatic personality that just draws the audience in. And, I don't want to take away from any of the MCs here. I thought a lot of them were great. I enjoyed them, but Warwick Davis is just kind of on his own level when it comes to MCing. So I did miss that. There's a lot of cool things. We saw some expansions on some of the games, which was neat. I think the Mandalorian panel was probably my favorite panel. And it was exciting. It was fun. We got to see a ton of people. They brought in a couple surprise guests, things like that. It was just a lot of fun. I did get Carl Weathers' autograph, and that was great. And so I didn't is it Grief Karga? I didn't get that picture signed. I got the Apollo Creed one because I've been Apollo Creed fan, right, since the early 90s. So I got him to sign that, and that was a good time. So I don't know, overall it was a lot of fun. I'm definitely glad I went. I spent way too much money, and I ate way too much of those donuts, but it was all worth it.
Those fruit trucks, man, they killed us.
I know.
It was super convenient, but man, greasy food all day long isn't good. So,
oh yeah, I'd go again. Basically, if I knew what I was getting and it was to start again tomorrow, I would go again.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't even think about Warwick Davis. He wasn't there. He wasn't there to sign or MC or anything. So yeah, he was definitely missed. Now that you bring it up, like you said, he's very charismatic. For you, Aiden, how was your experience in general overall? What'd you think?
Well, I'm going to love it every time. It's definitely my favorite convention, comparing that to Comic-Con. I like how focused it is on Star Wars because I don't know if you knew, but I really like Star Wars. And it's like above DC and Marvel and everything, it's Star Wars, and it's not close. So it's nice to go to a place where everyone's kind of in the Star Wars mindset. No one's really talking about anything else but Star Wars, and there's so much of it. The panels were so diverse. We had an Attack of the Clones panel, we had Bad Batch panel, we had Mandalorian panel with an Ahsoka sneak peek. So it was a mix of everything, and I loved it. And I think my favorite part was the Attack of the Clones panel because, like I said in a previous podcast episode, that's the one I grew up with. That was the first one that came out when I was alive. And it was just, it was nice to see all the heroes that I grew up with.
Yeah.
At first they didn't have, or they had like Daniel Logan, Tamara Morrison, obviously Anthony Daniels, because he's in pretty much every one of those.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see them, but we were really interested in seeing Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen because they were there for the Kenobi stuff. And I was a little disappointed at first when we went into the panel and they weren't there. I was like, they're here.
Yeah.
We know they're here in California, so where are they? And towards the end, they did pull out some chairs for them, and they came and sat down and talked about their experience, which is awesome for me because, you know, they're my heroes. Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor are the two actors that I've known and loved forever.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It was a good one for sure. I think with Tamura Morrison and Daniel Logan, they need to do like their own road show or something.
Yeah.
Just go tour the country, and because those two are hilarious together. They play off really well together. You know, they started in Attack of the Clones 20 years ago, and they've been attending conventions ever since. So they know each other, and it shines through. It's great to watch, fun to watch. So
they have that fun relationship, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like father son, but it's not, and you know, it's just this real close friendship. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, when Tamura Morrison came out and he did the haka, right, man, I was
sweet.
jacked. I was like, yeah, this is awesome, you know. And then he gets done and he can't breathe. He's like, I gotta breathe. It was the best.
Yeah, he's funny because he comes out. I've noticed in his panel appearances, he comes out. They ask him a question, and he just starts talking.
Yeah.
He doesn't really, maybe he answers the question, maybe he doesn't, but he just talks and talks and talks, and he's just hilarious the whole time. So you don't care that he answered the question or not because he's entertaining, you know, from beginning to end.
That's Daniel Logan too.
Yeah,
that's why they're so funny together.
Yeah, that was funny. And we do have that recording of that panel as well as the Bad Batch panel. And what was the other one? So we went to Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary, the Bad Batch panel, season 2, and the Mandalorian.
Mando Plus.
We have those panels recorded, and they're on our YouTube. So if you're watching this on our YouTube, check it out. Got thousands of views on those videos. So people are really liking it and getting comments thanking us for posting them, and they appreciate it. We didn't get the trailers or the bonus footage because
it had to be there.
Yeah. Well, the security guards were pretty vigilant. They were shining flashlights on us. Hey, turn that off. So otherwise we would have gotten it. But yeah, had to be there. But still have the rest of the panel, all those stories, the haka, all the things they did is there on our YouTube channel. So check it out if you haven't already. And we want to thank you for viewing those videos. So you got to subscribe. We're getting lots of views, but we don't have enough subscribers. So I think we're almost to 100 subscribers. We need at least 1,000. So help us out, subscribe to our channel, like, comment, all that, stuff. But definitely subscribe so we can, do more of these more often, because we're making a little side cash to make us more incentivized to do more videos. So, but anyway, enough with that. So as far as the first day, we show up, we get the lay of the land. We tried to sneak into the Kenobi panel.
Didn't work.
That first panel, 11 a.m. We almost did it, but we just couldn't get into it. So we heard about it.
Probably could have done it.
Yeah.
If we were willing to hide under those stairs,
Yeah.
right?
We got past security. We're back there. Oh, we got to go to the bathroom. We go in the bathroom. There's no one there. But it's like, what, 9 o'clock? Well, probably 10 o'clock, right? It's like, whoa, do we hide somewhere for an hour or what? What do we do? We almost did it, but we didn't. So we heard it was pretty awesome. They had some announcements, right? They did the Kenobi thing, and John Williams was there, and he played the theme from Obi-Wan Kenobi live. Harrison Ford showed up and did a little thing. I guess it was John Williams' birthday that day, so he had everybody sing happy birthday to John Williams, which would have been awesome. I think they had some announcements with some of the shows. Visions, I think. I don't know. I wasn't there, but sounds like it was pretty cool. Pretty cool panel. And then they did the Kenobi screening of the first 2 episodes later that night. But we didn't get into that because she had to get in the first panel to go to that. So that was the first day. That was the big panel for the first day. We just kind of walked around, looked at all the booths, bought some stuff. Anything stand out for you, Mark, that first day as far as what we did and what you liked?
I went and did the diorama for a large chunk.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. So what they did, so I think every convention, right, they do this big diorama, and this one they did one scene from every Mandalorian episode for seasons 1 and 2. And so the first day, the one I did it was episodes 1, 2, and 3, and I ended up doing episode 1. I made one of the little buildings where they found Grogu. And so I did one of those buildings. I didn't do the main building, but the building I did was right next to it, so that was pretty cool. And they put some stuff on it. It's just a lot of fun, right? You get to build it and kind of shape it. They give you an idea what the building should look like, and then you would kind of interpret it how you want, and you paint it. And that was a lot of fun, actually. I enjoyed it. I wanted to go back and do more, but it just takes up such a large chunk of your time. It's hard to go back. Yeah, I mean, mine, I think I worked on it 2 hours before lunch, right? And then we met for lunch, and I did it 2 hours after. Oh. So, yeah, it's a big part of the day, really. So it was a good time. That was a lot of fun. I think I had fun at the, what was it, the gaming? Is it MOD?
I think so, yeah.
I think it's MOD, and they sell all the games, and so they had so they had a lot of expansions to a couple games, which was fun. They had a couple new games. I really wanted to get the Assault, like Jedi Assault. I can't remember the first name, but I really want to get that one. But it was like $110, so I didn't get that. But I went and sampled them all and tried them all, and that was a lot of fun. It was just a lot of fun checking everything out, right? A lot of cool costumes. The fun thing about the first day is it's pretty low key, right? It's not jam packed. So we went in, we walked right in, hardly any lines. I think, it's really fun. You can kind of take your time. It feels like you're not so, jam packed trying to get, beat lines and all that. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Thursday was definitely I don't know if slow is the right word, but least amount of people that day. Mm-hmm. So that was nice. But for the games they had, what's the bounty hunter game that you got last celebration? What's that called? Outer Rim?
Oh, yeah, Outer Rim. Yeah, and they did have the expansion to that one as well. Okay.
What was that expansion like?
So I always thought if you've seen the game, it's kind of, built in a U shape. Like horseshoe. And I always thought when they expanded it, they would build the other side to the horseshoe. But they didn't. What they did was they added on 2 little pieces, and you can actually warp from one side to the other. They introduced some new characters. I don't know if you've played Outer Rim, you kind of know. If you haven't, you pick different characters like bounty hunters and stuff, and they all have their cool different abilities. You can play Han Solo. You can play some of the assassins. You can play really anyone. And so one of the things they were selling, right, was that Ahsoka ship. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so that was pretty neat for it. So
was it for that game, or was it for?
I think it was for that game. At least that's what they're telling me. I didn't get one, so I don't know. But a lot of fun. They just kind of expand on what's already there. They bring in a couple new different ways to win, but generally it's the same game. You're not changing it up too much. So it definitely some games worth getting. I won a card game, which was pretty cool. It was the second to last day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I won a little card game that I won for my kids, and they were sold out. And then I guess I followed their Twitter, and on their Twitter, if you were one of the first 5 people to go up to them and say a phrase, they would give you a free one. And so I was able to get that done, which was pretty fun. I think that's when you guys went to the Bad Batch panel, and I was like, I'm gonna go get this, and so I took off and didn't meet you guys in the panel.
Yeah, it was funny. You went and stood in line for us in the standby line to save us a spot while we went and got the Ahsoka ship. And then you're like, hey, they're letting us in. So we hurry up and we run over there. We tell the guy, hey, our brother-in-law's there. He's in there. He's saving us a spot. Can you let us in? So he lets us in. We go in. We get a seat. And we're like, we're texting you. Where are you? He's like, oh, I'm outside waiting. Like, what? Okay.
Well, they had us wait in a line to get into the line, right?
Yeah. So we thought you were already in there. We smoozed our way in, and then you weren't even there. And then that's when you went and got that card game. So I was like, okay.
I know. That was terrible, too, because I won that card game, and then I went and spent like $150 on model toys, right?
Yeah, let's talk about that. We all went there to that booth. Was it Bandai? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Yep.
We went to that one. What'd you get, Aiden?
I got a couple. So you and I both went and you got Poe's X-Wing and I got the Red 5 X-Wing. Mm-hmm. And then you wanted to get the Mandalorian or the Razor Crest or something.
Yeah. And
it was sold out for that day. But then a later day I went back and there was a lot of stuff sold out, but they had the Mandalorian back in stock, so I went back and grabbed that because it was a cool looking one and it was posable, which is not too common with like models and stuff. Usually they're pretty set, so I thought that was cool, and it was with his season 2 Beskar armor.
Oh yeah.
So I had to get it.
Yeah. Okay. What'd you get? Well, you got a lot of stuff there, right? Mark?
Oh yeah. Yeah, too much. I got like was an ATST with Chewbacca hanging out the top. I'm actually building that one right now. Nice. I got the TIE Fighter. I did get Red 5 X-Wing, and I got the Millennium Falcon, and I went back and got the stinking Mandalorian because I already have Boba Fett. And I was like, if you gotta have Boba Fett, you gotta have Mandalorian. So I went and got. So I think I got 5 total, and I don't know how I fit those in my bag. Right? I was like rolling clothes up, like barely fit it in. But yeah, I got the 5. The most fun one I'm looking forward to build is obviously probably Red 5 actually. I'm excited for that one. It's just kind of the original Red 5. I know there's a lot of talk about that, but it'll be fun. So I actually wanted to get the AT-AT that they have there, the AT-AT, right? But it was just like the small version.
Yeah,
so
like this big.
Yeah, so I was like, nah, because there's only, I think they said there's like 27 parts to it or something. I was like, nah, that doesn't be quick, it'll take me 10 minutes. So I opted to get some other stuff.
Yeah. You started to put together your X-Wing, right, Aiden?
Yeah, I did. It's hard. The pieces are so small because the X-Wing is probably like this long, the long way, and the pieces are just so tiny, and the instructions are a little bit hard to read. You have to actually like look into them. It's not like Legos or something where it tells you exactly where to go and what to do step by step by step. It includes it all in like 5 steps in one, so you have to really look at it, and so it's slow going, but I'm getting there.
Okay.
Yeah, they're fun though, huh? Right, and they're kind of like in Chinese, right? You see the Chinese stuff, and sometimes they they have the instructions converted to English, but it doesn't convert very well.
No.
And so you're like, wait, what is that trying to say? So they're fun, though. They're time consuming, but they're a good time.
Cool. Yeah. And then we also went to the Kotobukiya. Is that how you say it?
Wow.
The Koto booth. And I got a Phasma. Probably, I think they're like, it's like this tall. So
Cool.
Those are easier to put together though.
Yeah, I got a pair of First Order Stormtroopers, and you basically just put their legs, arms, and head on, and that's it. But it's cool because it comes with a few different variations, so it's not just the one. You can put it in like a casual position or an attack position. It's detailed too, and it comes on a magnetic stand, so it stays up really well.
Okay. Yeah, so we spent that first day and a lot of the second day too when we weren't at the panel just shopping and looking at stuff and taking pictures. Aiden dressed up in his Mandalorian cosplay, and a lot of people came up to him and took pictures with him and really appreciated his armor, so that was awesome. And then the second day, was it the second day you went as Inquisitor Cal Kestis, or was that the third?
It was the second day.
Second day. Yeah, didn't get a lot of notice with that. Like, people saw it, but they didn't seem to recognize what it was.
There was one guy with a BD-1 droid. It was a really cool puppet that he had, and he recognized me and came up and wanted to take a picture. And I was like, wow, no one like even caught what I was trying to do. And he comes over with a BD-1 droid, and it was a cool picture.
Yeah, I believe that we put that up on our Instagram page, so check that out. So cool. Yeah, and then some of the announcements we got. The Bad Batch is coming out fall. I want to say September, late September of this year. Cassian Andor is coming out August of 2022. Mandalorian season 3 is February, around there, 2023. So
Yeah, they said the date. Was it like February 17th or something?
Okay, yeah, it was something like that. Then Ahsoka's after that. What was some of the other ones? I think that was it. No movie announcements.
Yeah.
Nothing. Which is, I think they kind of talked about a little bit in some of the press announcements, but nothing, like no teaser trailers or anything. And that's disappointing. I mean, ever since the last celebration in Anaheim with 2015, when we saw the Force Awakens trailer, we saw some for the first time, and then we saw some concept art for Rogue One. They announced that, and it was just a lot of hype around the next movie, and then the next celebration, Last Jedi and Rogue One stuff, and then the next one was Rise of Skywalker. So these movie announcements bring a lot of energy and excitement. And while it's cool to see the Mandalorian season 3 trailer and Ahsoka and Bad Batch and all that, it's not the same. It's not a movie. And I think the next movie is Taika Waititi's movie. And I think they're saying 2023, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So I don't know. For you, Mark, it's not having a movie trailer or something big like that, does that matter for you, or what do you think?
Not for me. I feel like that they had this huge push of movies, right? And then the last couple were flops. Not that I didn't like them, but Solo didn't do very well. There was a lot of critics that didn't like it. I actually really liked Solo. Yeah. But that one didn't do very well. And then the last, was it Rise of Skywalker? I mean, I was disappointed in that one, right? And I think a lot of people were. There was a lot of flack. So I think they got a little nervous, and then they saw this huge success of The Mandalorian. Right. And I think that was kind of like for them, like, wait a minute, like maybe this is what people want. Because if we could have told The Rise of Skywalker in, 6 episodes at 45 minutes each, we may have been able to tell a better story. Because I feel like there's so much story to say in one movie. They had to cut so much out. It just seemed strange. And, so then that's what they kind of went to. They're like, well, let's go to this. Let's see what we can do with this. And then we got, Book of Boba Fett or Book of Fett, and we got Mandalorian season 2, and I feel like that they really hashed those out. It was almost like they had a little too much time, right? Because there was a couple of throwaway episodes in each of them that were just like almost nostalgic episodes, or just these weird throw-in episodes, right?
Right.
But you could just tell a more complete story that allowed me to draw in better, connect to these characters better, things like that. And now we're seeing new Obi-Wan, same thing. We're three episodes in, and I'm just like, what? There's only 3 more. This sucks, And
Yeah.
but we're getting a lot of story, and and then adding in all the action, everything. I like it. I think it's a good idea from them to go this route, because there's a lot that they can accomplish this way. They can tell a better a better story with the Ahsoka. They can tell, Mandalorian 3, we're going to see some cool things, right? We saw that trailer, and if you were to see that trailer for a movie, there's just no possible way they could make a 2-hour movie really that good. But they sure can make, 4.5 hours of episodes that good. So I think it's a good route for them. Obviously, I think they're going to have to put out another movie at some time. Maybe they'll have to do the Snyder release of Skywalker, Rise of Skywalker.
That's a good point. I mean, because that movie did feel rushed, and like you're missing things, like you said. So if they did, and there was rumors of a 6-hour, or I don't know, a longer version. The JJ cut is what they were hashtagging it for a while. And so, yeah, if you can do something like that, because I think the hesitation that I have, or the limitations with Disney Plus, is the budget. Because the stories are good. I think the character development and the overall stories are intriguing and stuff. But there's times where it's a TV budget, right? The locations that they go to, like with Book of Boba Fett, they went to someplace in California, and this last episode of Kenobi, they're like wandering on that desert, and you can tell it's California.
Yeah.
So they're not like these exotic locations, and that's due to budget. So I think if they can somehow marry the budget issues with a movie, have a movie type budget with this, 4, 5, 6 or more episode storytelling model, I think that'd be the perfect thing. And then maybe when it's all done, or maybe release the first 2 episodes as a movie, so people get hyped and go to the movie theater, and then they watch the rest of it on Disney Plus or something. I don't know. Just somehow combine the two. What do you think, Hayden? What's your observations?
Well, I personally like the TV show format, especially coming from just a couple of TV shows, namely the Clone Wars and Rebels being the bigger ones. Mm-hmm. And those were amazing. I mean, they did so well with the Clone Wars, especially the last season that they came out with recently. I liked the last arc, which I'm sure everybody did, because it was so cinematic. And since it was animated, they didn't need a movie budget to travel to these locations. They just needed to do their job well, which they had been doing for a while. And that's Dave Filoni's work, which I think is the reason why The Mandalorian and, the Book of Boba Fett with Jon Favreau as well are doing so well. It's because even with a small budget, they just do their magic.
True.
And with the new TV shows coming out, like Ahsoka and Bad Batch Season 2, I really did like their trailers and teasers, because they did feel like a cinematic movie trailer. Something to really get excited for, showed us intense scenes, and just really what we want. And I liked that part.
True. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think if they can just spend more money on going places, locations, just kind of beefing up, and it's a small thing, but you can tell, they're not in Tunisia or, something like that, some cool location. And I'm sure the actors and everybody, the crew appreciates that they're just driving an hour out away from LA to shoot some scenes instead of flying across the country for a couple of weeks. But I don't know. Mm-hmm. I can tell.
One thing too is I felt like something happened with their CGI budget between The Mandalorian to Book of Fett. I don't know if you noticed it, right? But when they were flying around, and driving around, like you could feel that they were going fast, right? The CGI allowed it to go fast. But in the Book of Fett, when it was that weird, I don't know, cyber gang, whatever, right? And they were riding through the town. You're like you're trying to make them look like they're going fast, but then when it shows the shot, they've gone 50 feet.
Yeah.
It was just really, yeah, it was really weird. And I don't know if it was a CGI budget thing, like they put their money somewhere else or what it is. But I'm like, look, this is Disney we're talking about. I mean, these guys have to have that kind of budget. And we were talking about Star Wars with such a history and, being super fantastical anyway in its storytelling. You need to match that, and I felt like that was a little off. I mean, I still watched it, still liked it, but I felt that it just was missing that something.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a big criticism for a lot of people. Just that, first of all, the whole, what were they? They were like, they're not speeder bikes. They're like,
yeah,
they're like floating mopeds.
Yeah, the moped gang. Just that whole decision in the first place. But then, that chase scene was pretty lame, if you ask me. I mean, the Return of the Jedi speeder bike chase on Endor was better than that.
Yeah,
and that's like 40 years ago.
Made in the 20th century.
Yeah. It was just, I don't know if that was a stylistic choice. If it was, that was not a good choice. Or like you said, a budget issue. That, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So Celebration as a whole, I think, as it moves forward, the next one is in England at the Excel Center, and that will be next year, April of 2023, April 7th through 10th. And it's the third Celebration Europe, and we probably won't be going to that.
I have no doubt that I will not be there.
Yeah. So we'll see I'm sure at that celebration they'll announce the next U.S. celebration. And tell us your thoughts on that, Mark. You had a big theory on when the next one will be and what it will celebrate. I like
the next huge one I think we have to go to for me is 2027, right? I mean, that's the 50th year anniversary from A New Hope. And for me, that's the one that you shell out the money for, right? I mean, they're making hand over foot anyway. We're spending hand over foot. Like, it's just, and that's fine. That's what we do. We will, like to buy the cool things and stuff. But I mean, for me, it's like, look, if I go to another one before 2027, which is fine, I am not spending a ton of money. I'm saving money from now until 2027 because that is going to be the party. That's when you're going to have everybody there, right? They're going to have to bring everyone that's still up and at 'em from, New Hope and the originals. You're going to have to bring in all the people from the prequels, the sequels, the TV series, Solo, Rogue One, anything that had to do with it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a party, right? It's going to be massive, right? There's going to be signings everywhere. There's going to be celebrities everywhere, and it'll be amazing. And so if you're ever going to spend $2,000 on a VIP ticket, that's the one you spend $2,000 on a VIP ticket.
Yeah.
I agree with that, especially because 50th anniversary isn't just the anniversary of A New Hope. It's the anniversary of just Star Wars, that being the first one and the beginning to just a universe that, half the world loves. So like Mark said, it's just going to have to be everyone coming, because everyone's part of Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of sequel, if any, actors that attended this one. It was mostly prequel focused. There were some, even original trilogy, there wasn't a ton. There were some. I think you have the normal guys that show up, that come, but it was mostly episode 2 based, and so there was a lot of hype around that. It was Mandalorian and episode 2, I think, is the audience that they went for. So do you think, though, that's 2027, so that's 5 years away from now, 4 years away from the next one in Europe. Do you think they'll do a 2024 or 2025?
I think 2025 would be likely because of Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
Because you said that's what, how long is it? 20 year, 10 year?
20.
Yeah, 20.
20
Oh my
year,
gosh.
yeah.
It'll be 20 for Revenge of the Sith and 10 for Force Awakens, which is crazy.
Yeah.
That's funny. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, it was 20 years. Because I was thinking what I was doing 20 years ago. I'm like, no, it wasn't. Oh, it was, right? And I remember going to it.
Yeah.
I remember it well because I was walking down the aisleway and I tripped and my popcorn went everywhere. And I was so pissed off. But yeah, that one will be a fun one to go to too. And that's like I'm saying, like, that's one that you go to spend a little bit money on a VIP ticket, so you get first pick at the next one.
Yeah.
But and maybe you buy a thing or two, but like that's one you just kind of go to just to like be a viewer, right? Go and sit in the panels, talk to the people, but you're just not shelling out huge money. I'd actually be surprised if there was a lot of money spent at that one, just because all the fans have to know 27 years coming or the 50 years coming in 2027. And that, the money they're going to spend on that one's going to dwarf anything I think that's been spent before.
Yeah. What would be your focus for the 50th year celebration? Like, what would you buy or want to get the most?
Everything.
Autographs. I mean, autographs for sure, because everyone's going to be there, and it's so hard to get them, right? You have to send them somewhere, pay this high premium price for it, and then wait, 4 months, and maybe you'll get it. And so, it's just kind of, and it's not as fun doing it that way. Right? I mean, how fun would it be? Not saying Harrison Ford will do signatures, but how fun would it be to go up to Harrison Ford and get an autograph? How fun would it be, see Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, and go up and down the line, all of them. It'd just be fun to say hi to them. If I'm going to pay that kind of money and then, to get their autograph and just something that would be awesome, I think. Autographs. I mean, I would probably buy like 15 autographs, and that's a lot of money, right? But that's what I would save my money for.
Yeah, I think I would too. I'd try to focus on the ones I don't have and get those last couple that I need to round out the collections.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
there's just some people that aren't going to come. Oh yeah.
So, yeah, and it's cool to get action figures. I'm sure they'll have a whole 50th anniversary collection of action figures that you gotta, $20 a piece, and you can stand in line for hours and that whole thing. But I think I would be more focused on autographs. I'm not too big on the photo ops. I mean, they're fine, but they're just as much as the autographs, and you're literally standing next to them for 5 seconds, if that. And maybe you say hi to them, maybe not. And that's it. And the backgrounds aren't that cool. It's just this generic photograph. Whereas the autograph, you can look them in the eye. Sometimes you can shake their hand. Say, hey, thank you. I really enjoy Luke Skywalker. He's awesome. He was my hero when I was 7 years old. And Mark Hamill says, yeah, thank you. You have that, even though that's only 5 seconds, that's something, that's way more personable than a photo op for me.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. Yeah, I think that would be the next big one. I'm sure they'll do 2025 and then a 2027. So we'll be ready for that when it comes. So with some of the announcements, there was Star Wars Visions Season 2. Did you watch Season 1?
I did, yeah.
Okay. What'd you think?
I'm not too into anime. It's not really my thing, but I am into Star Wars, so that made it my thing. And I thought some of the episodes, it's a series with different episodes being created by different studios. So every episode is a different story, a different art style, different just story style, which is cool. I liked that idea, but some of the episodes I didn't really take to. Mm-hmm. But there were a couple that were really cool. Specifically that first one that was in kind of the brown and gray and white color palette, I guess. I liked the art style for that one. I liked the story. And I'm excited to see more of that. And there's supposed to be more just continuation of the episodes that we saw in season 1. So I am a little bit excited for that. Obviously not as much as like The Mandalorian, Bad Batch, Ahsoka, stuff like that. But it'll be cool to watch regardless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there was another show, Star Wars Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That was announced. And that's an animated series focusing on Ahsoka, Qui-Gon, and Dooku, I believe.
Yep, young Dooku.
Yeah, young Dooku. So it kind of gets their, it sounds like it's like their background, their origin story, or their Padawan years, that type of thing.
I think another one in there was Asajj Ventress.
Okay.
And I'm really excited for that one as well because it's going to be the art style of the Clone Wars, and that's just my favorite, seeing that in Clone Wars and Bad Batch. And I also really like the idea of Count Dooku being a fallen Jedi, and then him turning to the dark side and not becoming a full Sith, and just seeing that transition. And then also young Qui-Gon, because we only see a little bit of him compared to the rest of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'm not too interested in seeing young Ahsoka. I don't know if there's that much to see there, because we see most of her development in the other TV shows. Yeah,
in the Clone Wars.
But Asajj Ventress would be kind of cool, because we know her background being a Night Sister, but we don't know how she became from a Night Sister to a Jedi, then to a Sith.
Did we see a little bit of that in Clone Wars?
We do see like flashes and a little bit here and there, but it would be cool to see just more.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. It's a limited series, so not too in depth, but cool. And then there's a Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures, and that is set in the High Republic era, centuries before Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. It's for preschoolers and their families, so probably won't be seeing much of that. Maybe I'll check it out here and there, but it's definitely animated for younger kids.
They'll be doing Star Wars nursery rhymes and stuff like that.
I was a little bit disappointed that it was for younger preschool age kids because I'm interested in the High Republic era. I haven't read any of the books or the comics, but I really like the idea, and I'm more of a screen media type of person. So I was a little disappointed that it wasn't going to be made for me.
Yeah. Those were kind of the big ones we've talked about. So, yeah, any closing thoughts or points you want to make, Mark, before we wrap things up for this show?
No, overall, we had a lot of fun, right? I think by Sunday we were just burnt out, right? I think we came home a little bit. We went back to our hotel room a little bit early, and we all crashed for like 2 hours.
Yeah, it's a lot of walking.
Yeah, a lot of walking, a lot of fun. No, I'm just excited for, the next one we go to, and hope we can start bringing some people back. I know a lot of people weren't there though because they were filming other shows, right? I got Willow 2 filming, you have new Ahsoka filming, and it was cool to see those people come in for a really quick, cameo and stuff, but it'd been cool to see them there throughout. So, yeah, I mean, it was great. I had a lot of fun. I just can't wait to do it again. If you haven't been, go. It's worth going to. You see a lot of people there. We saw Dan Farr there, right, from the Salt Lake City Fan X. So that was pretty cool. It was funny because we saw him right after we got done talking about him, like 5 minutes before, and then I'm like, "What the heck?" We just ran into him. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. But no, I mean, good stuff. I really did have a great time.
Good. Aiden and I, we went to the Star Wars After Dark, Star Wars Night.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
Yeah.
It was expensive for, 6 hours?
Uh-huh. Which we didn't even go to all 6 hours of.
Yeah, we left a little early. because it's hard to walk around all day at Celebration and then walk around all day in Disneyland. And I don't know. It was fun, but I wasn't impressed as far as like, why is it Star Wars night type thing.
Yeah, it was cool to see. I liked the lightsaber meetup. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to take part in it, but there were so many people there. Like, it was the entire area around the Millennium Falcon, and it was like body to body.
Yeah, it's jam packed.
Which was cool. Like from afar, it was really cool. But other than that, it was kind of just like, we've been to Galaxy's Edge a few times over now, and it's just that, but dark.
Yeah. It was fun.
It was nice to have shorter lines, though. There were definitely shorter lines. I think the longest we had to wait for a line was the Rise of the Resistance, which was cool because you and I got to see Ian McDiarmid just walk on, essentially.
Yeah. Like, he walked in front of us, and I was like, it's the Emperor. It's Darth Sidious. Like, I didn't know what to say. It's Ian McDiarmid. Ah. And then, yeah, he just walked on, and we had to wait like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I saw some pics of other guys, other celebrities that were there too. So that was cool that they got to go. We went to Star Tours, walked right on basically. Maybe
Always fun.
Maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Wait. So that was nice as far as like no lines and stuff. But I probably won't go again.
Yeah.
Because we priced it out, right, Mark? And it was a regular ticket for a full day was cheaper than what we paid for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I looked at it. I was like, you could get like, I think I got online. It was like $140 just to get a ticket for the whole day that day. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. I didn't get a ticket. It would have been fun to go, right? Justin sent me the link for the ticket, and I assumed I had bought it. And then I started looking through all my stuff. I'm like, oh, I didn't buy it. That's terrible. So I didn't get to go. I ended up having to go watch Top Gun, which was an amazing movie, but I wish I could have gone.
Yeah. Well, they kind of hosed us on that ticket, too, because the initial, for 2020 was the initial date for the convention. And so I bought the tickets for, I think it was $110. So it was a little pricey, but hey, it's just 6 hours, so you're not paying for full price. And then they came back and said, well, if you're going to go for May 27th or whatever the date was, you need to pay an extra $65 now after they had rescheduled it. So I was like, oh, great. So now it's $175. Which it's not worth $175 in my opinion. $110 maybe.
I can understand why they would have wanted to price it out more. I don't know why they why they changed it, but the appeal, if we would have taken full advantage, would have been really cool. If we hadn't been to Celebration and seen cooler Star Wars stuff before and worn ourselves out already, I think we could have taken advantage of it a little bit more, gone on some more rides, just hung out longer.
Yeah.
But we were already exhausted. We had seen so much Star Wars already. So, I wouldn't buy the ticket again.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like last thoughts. Sorry, I know I'm taking up a little more time, but one thing that I think that needs to be fixed between Chicago, and we talked about this, offline, is they have got to find a way, Reed Pop or, whoever wants to do it, to make that app effective. I mean, you're trying to get in a virtual line, you get on right at 9 a.m. and you're still 30 minutes away from checking in, and everything sells out at, 10 after 9, and then they close all the Celebration store 20 minutes later, right? It's just insane. Like, it's just almost impossible. I don't really know the best way to fix it. I know we talk like there should be kind of like a hybrid. They should say, okay, if you want to stand in line, the first X amount of people that get here, the first 500 people can stand in line. If they want to stand in line for 3 hours, great. If you want to chance it and get, pulled randomly to get into this panel or whatever, then take your chances. And if you don't want to stand in a 3-hour line, fine. But I think that there should be a reward for wanting to stand in line for 3 hours. And that should be like, hey, you're guaranteed one of these 500 spots. Congratulations. As opposed to you just randomly didn't get it out of the 50,000 people. Better luck next time. Because there were some people that didn't get in a single panel.
Yeah.
And what are they to do?
The streaming panel, overflow. They didn't get that
and
either.
So, yeah. And then, I mean, we were trying to use the stinking badges and use the app and stuff. And finally, I just put all I used it for is to see what time anything was, right? I didn't even try to utilize it because it was just so poorly done. And, it just seems, the amount of money that's getting put into that, from ticket sales and from whatever, there's got to be a better budget to make sure that works correctly.
Right. Yeah, and then the Celebration store line was insane.
There's 3 rooms that winded in and out, and then you got in finally.
Yeah.
So you had to wait in line to wait in line to wait in line to get to the store.
And then once you got in, like if you were getting the pins, I heard that the pin set that everybody's wanting, you had to get in line to get a pin, select which pins you want. And then you had to go to the register and wait in line to pay for the pins. It's like a 3-hour process, if that. Maybe 5 hours. I don't know. We didn't get in, so I don't know how long it took. So
yeah.
Just in general, the Celebration store has got to be fixed. They tried the hyperspace lane, and that's what you were talking about, log in at 9 o'clock. And by, like you said, 10 minutes, it was done for the day. Mm-hmm. You weren't getting a time. And every day, we logged in at 9 o'clock to try and get a spot, and we never got a spot in the 4 days. And then one day, we went 2 different days, we went down to a stand line. It was like, oh, it's a 4-hour wait. So, well, we want to see stuff.
Yeah.
We don't want to stand in the line.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's just something has to be done. Like, there's got to be a more efficient way. There has to be something. I don't know if you expand that Celebration store to twice the size or what, but I mean, in my mind, you have 5 years to fix it, because in 5 years, you thought it was busy now and impossible to get into. And if they don't fix anything, you're going to really upset a huge fan base that wants to get into that store, wants to buy things, wants to send money, and they just can't.
Yeah. Seems like it should be an easy fix. And that's how it was. I remember, I think 2015 was the first time it started to get like that. Like, it took forever just to get into the store. And before that, you had to wait, but it wasn't hours to get into the store. Where, because I remember Celebration 4, we pretty much just walked right in every time to buy the stuff we wanted every day. So Celebration 5, a little more people, took a little bit longer, but it wasn't insane. But ever since Celebration Anaheim 2015, the Celebration store, and that's when Reed Pop took over. So I think it's a Reed Pop thing.
Must be.
They just do not know how to manage that, and it's terrible.
Yeah, obviously there's more people coming now than Celebration 4.
Right.
But there was still so many people at Celebration 4, so it's not just that.
Yeah.
And I remember in Celebration 2019, waiting for the store, didn't we have to reserve a time to go wait in the line?
Yeah. Yeah. And there was a hyperspace, but I don't think it was.
It never worked.
Yeah, it was the same thing. It never worked, and I think it was just for VIPs.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, yeah, they got to fix that. So, any other things that they could do better next time, or you'd want to see next time?
Just let us wait in line. We complain about these lines, but for the panels, we're willing to wait in those lines, so just let us.
Yeah. Well, before, people would show up at 7 p.m. the night before, spend the night in the celebration on the concrete floors, and be first in line.
It's okay. We'll just sneak in. We could do it.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I'm saying there should be a hybrid version of it. Like, yeah, you don't want 50,000 people laying in line and sleeping on concrete. That's just insane, right? But you could say, hey, we're going to allow 750 people that want to sit in line, but at 750, no one else can come in line. No one else can stay, whatever it is, and then cap it off. But then you're rewarding these people that want to spend the night on that concrete, that those diehard fans, diehard fans are willing to go the distance.
Yeah.
Let them be a diehard fan. That's part of their experience, and you're taking it away and making it too random.
Yeah.
It is frustrating to, put in all this money. Like, it's not cheap at all. And then look at your emails, see which ones you got, and see, oh, I just got one of the 5 possible that you could get into. Mm-hmm. Sweet.
Yeah, very disappointing. So, for me, I'd want to see... the panels were cool, the ones we went to. That was on the main floor. There was a second floor and a third floor. I think most of the panels were on the second floor. We tried to get in a couple of those, and they were full.
Yeah.
And I don't think they streamed some of them.
They didn't stream a lot of them. Basically, I think they only streamed the ones that were on the celebration stage, which is what I was saying earlier. Like, I would have liked to see some of them that weren't on the celebration floor, at least streamed.
Yeah. And so there's that. But then a lot of those panels they're run, like the guests are fans, super fans, or podcast hosts that have gotten in with Lucasfilm somehow. And I'm not mad about that. It's just the fact that if I go to Celebration, I want to see the professionals who worked on the movie, who wrote the books, that type of thing. I want them to be the panel that I go see, not just some fan who likes, has the same experience or knowledge that I do. They're not going to, teach me anything or reveal anything new that I don't know already, because I'm a super fan.
Yeah. We went into a poster collector panel, which is cool, I guess, but we do that. Yeah. You can see it.
Yeah. Look at our walls. We have posters.
So
we know the posters.
Yeah, and I'm looking at them like, well, what are your credentials? You've just been doing this longer than I have? Sorry. I wasn't born.
Yeah.
But you don't know more than I do, really. You just have been doing it longer. I want to see... there was a panel with Anthony Daniels that I wanted to get into. You guys were asleep. That was when I left.
Yeah.
I went to go try and get into it, but it was full already, which is why I wanted that one to be streamed, because I wanted to go see it, but it was just full and unavailable.
Yeah. So I'd like to see more professionals doing those panels. Like, if you're having a Star Wars poster panel, who are some of the artists that could show up?
Right.
Or, maybe someone from Lucasfilm, publishing, or not publishing, but promotion, who, puts the posters together or gets the people connected. Hey, we want you to draw this scene for this poster, or what, something like that. Not just fans who collect posters.
Yeah, they did have a panel with Doug Chang.
Yeah.
And that's like the type of panels that I want to see.
Yeah, exactly.
We tried to go to that one too, and it was also full. But I want more of those types of panels. Right. If there's more, hopefully we can get into at least one of them. But just seeing him would be really cool, because he's the behind the scenes of Star Wars. He makes he didn't make the X-Wings come alive, but everything that we saw in the prequels was him. So that would have been cool to be able to see.
Yeah. And then we did go to the Rancho Obi-Wan exhibit.
Yeah.
Boba Fett, Bo-Katan, Mandalorian experience. That wasn't the Mandalorian experience. That was something different. But the Rancho Obi-Wan display was cool. So there were some cool things up there on those other floors.
Yeah.
The droids.
That was really cool.
All the different R2 units, protocol droids, all kinds of droids.
Mouse droids.
Mouse droids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probe droid. They even had that probe droid that they were driving around the convention for. So, all right. So yeah, that's kind of our rundown of Star Wars Celebration Anaheim 2022. We had a good time. Some things we wish could have gone better, But overall, for me, it was an 8 out of 10, I think. I think the thing that would have pushed it to a 9 or a 10 would have been like just more movie stuff. That was missing for me. For me as a fan, and have been to past celebrations, seeing that movie trailer that debuts, like the Force Awakens trailer that we saw, Last Jedi trailer, Rogue One, all that stuff that they save for Celebration to hype everyone up for a movie. It's just a different level than a Disney Plus series for me. So what about for you, Mark? What would you rate this Celebration as?
I go with an 8 out of 10 from what I've seen so far. So I really did like it. A lot of fun things, just the stuff we talked about. So I can't wait to go again, to be honest.
Yeah. Aiden?
For me, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. Going a little bit lower than you guys.
Average. Just an average Celebration rating.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to 5 now. I can say.
Yeah, that's true.
Last Celebration in Chicago was perfect 10 out of 10 for me. I think that's the funnest one I've been to. Mm-hmm. We had lots of opportunities. Compared to this one, I liked how Celebration's convention floor was set up. They had I forgot what they called it, but like the Star Wars stage in the middle of the floor. This time they had it on the very, very, very end, just out of the way.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that because I didn't really know what that was until the last day, and I was like, well, there's nothing cool going on now.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't see it there for a couple days.
Yeah.
Like I knew it was somewhere, but it wasn't right there like it was at Chicago.
Yeah, and I feel like it should be in the middle because that's the show. That's the show that's going on when the panels aren't going on. And that's where we got to see another interview with Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen that I was only able to see online after the fact.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know where that was. And the other thing that drops it from 2019 is just we were able to get into pretty much every panel that we wanted and every line that we wanted. Mm-hmm. And we weren't able to do that this time.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't get any exclusive raffle or lottery email winners. Mm-hmm. We only got the one panel.
Yeah. We snuck into
another one, but
Bad Batch. And I feel like you shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there was plenty of room.
Yeah.
We got in there, and all the people who won the lottery were already in there, and there was tons of room.
Yeah, there plenty of seats.
200-300 more seats, at least.
Not desirable seats,
right?
But
you're in there.
Yeah.
You're in the room, as opposed to the Celebration stage.
Yeah.
Or no, not the Celebration,
the Galaxy stage and the other one.
Right.
The Twin Sun stage.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us here on the Credible Nerds podcast as we talk about Star Wars Celebration Anaheim 2022. Definitely subscribe to our channel. We'll be putting out some Obi-Wan Kenobi reviews. They're up to episode 3 right now, and episode 3 killed it. It was awesome. One of the best Star Wars sequences I've seen in a long time. So we'll be talking more about that soon. So keep an eye out for that. As well as me and Aiden will continue with our Bad Batch Season 1 review series. And then just our general, nerd stuff that we talk about. DC, Marvel, Star Trek, Cosmere maybe, Wheel of Time stuff, Dresden Files, all that good stuff. So that interests you, definitely subscribe to our channel. We're moving more towards video podcasting. Check out our audio podcast on tcn.fm. It'll take you right to our audio podcast feed, and you can check out all our past episodes that we've been podcasting since 2017. So this is our 5th year anniversary this summer. So we've been around for a bit. Check out our past reviews and our past shows. And so thanks for joining us, and we will catch you next time, guys. May the Force be with you.
See you guys.
See ya.